Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Giant Views. My name is Sonia Begeman. I'm the editorial director here at Seed World Group. Joining me today from Corteva Agriscience is Greg Lammert. Now, Greg, we are live and in person at the Ask to CSS and Seed Expo today. My first in-person conference in quite a while, so great to see you.
Nice to see you, Sonia. Yeah, it's one of my first conferences as well in the past few months, so I'm looking forward to having a real good conference.
Yeah. Well, before we get started today with this industry giant, Greg, why don't you tell me about your title and what you do?
Sure. I am Marketing Communications Manager for Corteva Agriscience. I've been with the company now 2.5 years, having shifted over to working in the soybean herbicides, corn herbicides, fungicides area, as well as with our Enlist system.
All right. Well, speaking of Enlist, weed control is top of mind for farmers right now for obvious reasons, but maybe not so obvious. So, Greg, tell me about the current environment for resistant and tough to control weeds for farmers.
Yeah, it's a challenge for them out there. You really have to empathize with the farmers out there with the weeds that they have to deal with on a regular basis. But they're looking for options that are available, the flexibility that's needed to control those weeds, and really with the Enlist system itself, it's new to the marketplace for many of them, but it's an option. And it's been proven here just in the past few years to be very effective for farmers, and that's why we're seeing a lot more farmers switch over to the system. And in fact, it's really the fastest growing soybean trait herbicide system, in addition to the system how it also can play in for cotton and to a certain lesser degree on corn.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to how fast the Enlist system is growing here soon, but I do want to talk a little bit. I know at Corteva Agrisciences, you guys are constantly researching how to find new solutions for farmers. So talk to me about what your research is showing will be the future of weed control.
We really think it is going to be the Enlist system. I think some of the benefits that we are seeing from the system, the effectiveness, on-target application, the flexibility, for that matter, is real important. I think that's what farmers are liking to see, especially with some of the challenges that they face with some other systems that are out there that maybe you have those cutoff dates, you have those buffer zones, and so forth. With Enlist, we don't have that, and I really think that's what's appealing to a number of the farmers. And really, the results that we're seeing, especially on the weed control side, fantastic. Over the past year, we saw work with Enlist One plus Liberty on water hemp, outstanding. Then also on Palmer Amaranth, outstanding. They're getting really good performance on those weeds. They're probably the most troublesome weeds that farmers are encountering right now.
Absolutely. I know I've been reporting and lived in Missouri now for a long time, and we used to go in fields and I would know it was water hemp, and now it's not so much the case. It could be Palmer, it could be water hemp. No matter what, it's really tough to kill. So
it's a tough one. It really takes a program approach to really get after those weeds, and it's not just you can't rely on just a herbicide alone. It's everything that leads up to it. It's the system, it's the plan that you're putting together that you really need to focus on. It's kind of like by the time you get your plan together, you know what your herbicides are going to do, and go from there. It's the trait system that you're selecting. Are you using cover crops as part of it to control your weeds? What tillage methods that you're using? All those things play into part of controlling weeds. And really, we're fortunate enough that a number of farmers have had success with the Enlist system, but also are implementing all these other parts of a program approach, which is not only the post-emergence herbicide, but also the pre-emergence herbicide as well. So it's a total program, and many farmers have now truly embraced that. No matter what system that they're using, they truly understand it. It's going to take a lot more effort to really control the weeds that they need.
Mm-hmm. Well, harvest is finally wrapping up in my area in east or western Missouri, and we're starting to hear results roll in. I know you guys have been asking farmers what they're seeing with the Enlist system. So talk to me about 2021's Enlist performance.
Well, the system itself had an excellent year. We really have, and we couldn't be happier with the results. It's the fastest growing system out there when it comes down to weed control. And for instance, on E3 soybeans, we really were trying to get to, can we get to about 35% share and by God, we did. And we really think that coming into next year, it's going to grow even more. I think we have the proven track record now. Some farmers may have been a little skeptical at first, but now all of a sudden they're seeing, oh, my neighbor's done it. And, my neighbor's neighbor's done it. And we're seeing, oh my gosh, the fields are looking great. And I don't have to worry about, any of the off target issues at all. So they're really seeing that everything is coming together. And one of the areas that we've really seen is that if people are using the system itself, they're actually using a herbicide. So they're really getting the true benefit of everything along the way. So there's roughly about 80% of the people that are using this an Enlist seed are actually applying Enlist herbicide on those fields as well, and that's fantastic because then they can truly realize the full benefits of the system itself, which is not only the weed control, but it's also the on-target application. It's the flexibility with the system itself. So I really think 2022 is going to be a really good year, but we're building off a very successful 2021.
Absolutely. Well, you've mentioned some of those key aspects, that flexibility, that efficacy of product, that you actually do kill the weeds you intend to kill. But, for someone who is looking at their soybean or their cottonseed selection for 2022, why, in your opinion, should they consider Enlist?
Well, I think really seeing the growth over the past few years, it's proven, and farmers are saying, hey, if it's working and it's delivering these results and it's delivering on the promises of the system itself, yes, I think it really starts to appeal to those folks. We've been, just in the short amount of time we've been using the system, 50 million acres have been using the system itself, which means they're using the herbicides as well. So they're seeing the results out there pretty good. And talking with their neighbors or people they belong in social groups with, they're really seeing the benefits of the system. And there's no calendar cutoff dates. I think that's a big appeal to folks and why they should be shifting over to the Enlist system. That's a big thing when you don't have to deal with those sorts of issues on a regular basis.
Yeah, you never know what Mother Nature's going to do. That's for sure.
No, you don't. It's in the case of the Enlist system, it widens that door for farmers to not have to worry about Mother Nature stepping on their toes.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned earlier that Enlist soybeans have grown to 35% market share in soybeans, which is a really impressive jump and one that you knew it was coming. It came faster than expected. And when I talked to you a few months ago and reported on what's going on in the soybean trait market, you guys were just ecstatic. So talk to me about that big jump and how you're prepping for another jump next year.
Well, one of the things that we really are committed to is also the stewardship side of it. And so we can't grow if we're not helping those farmers who have not had a lot of experience with the system grow with it. So a lot of it is really education and information that we're getting out there. Whether it be working with our field staff out there communicating information, that hosting field day events so they can really sample, show what the system is doing. But it's also the webinars and the training that we have, and we have that on a regular basis. Especially now, over the next few months, we really take advantage of that. Our training program, Enlist Ahead, is what we call it, and we offer webinars on a regular basis, a number of different types of topics. I mean, just in the past year alone, we had 16,000 people participate in webinars. That's a lot of people participating in webinars, especially in a targeted period of time. So it's not like throughout the entire year. We're looking at months between after harvest and before they get planting. Just to educate them on the system itself, how the herbicides operate, proper nozzles to be using, everything. We're communicating that information out there, and we also compare it. We'll take compare our system, the Enlist system, to the Corteva system, really to show the differences. And really, these are the different challenges that you will face with those. But we really take a commitment to doing that, and I think once you're into that stewardship mentality and communicating that information out there really opens up the door for that growth that growth stage. People start thinking, oh, maybe I should be planting Enlist treated seed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I want to be a good seeds editor if I didn't ask this
Sure.
question. You're expecting big growth. How are you going to make sure your seed supplies can meet that need?
Well, we're fortunate in that, Corteva itself, we have our own seed brands. We do have Pioneer, there's Brevant, but we also have a number of seed licenses. And that's where it truly helps in being able to deliver on that demand that's going out there. So we have over 120 seed licensees out there who license the technology from us. And they go around creating the seed varieties that work best in their areas. So it's the maturity groups that they need, all the other agronomic practices that they have out there. They want to make sure that they're delivering localized seed, and that's really the frontline people, the seed licensees, our own seed companies, where they're really delivering on that promise and the growth. Really, they've been the ones that have been driving the increase because we've been able to deliver the varieties and the maturity groups that they need that are built with the economic programs that they want to deliver on. So really, those frontline folks have been a godsend to us and fantastic partners to work with.
So we've been talking about stewardship, and I know that people are looking for resources right now. Where can farmers go if they need more information about the Enlist system?
They can go to enlist.com. Really, we have everything there they need to know about the herbicides, the system itself, the training, the webinars, everything is there. And they can learn from other farmers who have utilized the system itself. There's a number of videos that are on there that talk about some of the technical topics as it relates to Enlist the system itself. So if they go to enlist.com, they can find all the necessary resources that they need to be successful in their weed control.
Mm-hmm. Really good stuff.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's so fun to hear how excited you guys are about this Enlist system. Thank you so much, Greg, for talking to me today. I really appreciate your time. And for all of you who are watching, we appreciate you joining us for this special live and in-person edition of Giant Views. I'm Sonia Begeman, signing off.